if you can just accept that recording. Awesome. Great, great, great. So welcome to the 2025 River Valley Ripple Artist Residency Information Session. My name is Ash Hansen, and I'm the Creative Executive Officer with Department of Public Transformation. I use she, her pronouns, and during this intro session, we're going to do our best to provide some information and answer questions, but it's also possible that some of the questions will be left unanswered at the end of our time together. If you have very specific questions about the program or anything that we don't get to today, or if you're watching this as a recording and questions come up, please reach out to Luana via the email that will be provided in the chat, luana@publictransformation.org. And now I'm going to pass it over to Luana to introduce herself and get our intro session started.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Ash. My name is Luana Elotabi, and I am the Yes House Program Director. So I'll be working closely with the RVR, or River Valley Ripple artists and residents throughout their residency. So I work at the Yes House with my colleague, Shai. Next slide, please. Shai here, who is the Yes House Program and Facilities Assistant. She is currently on maternity leave, but will be back by the time these residencies begin. So she'd also be at the Yes House working with you all as well. Next slide. Next slide, Ash.
Yep, one sec. It's having a little froze moment, so give me one second. I'm just going to have to re-share my screen here.
Okay. Technology.
We love it. We love it. One second. Just gave me a little frozen.
Take your time.
All right, we're going to reshare.
All right, so thank you. So in today's info session, we are going to, just want to share a little bit about our agenda for the hour. We'll kind of do a overview of the Department of Public Transformation. That's the artist-led nonprofit that stewards the Yes House, and that the Yes House is the headquarters of as well. Then we'll go into the Yes House, a little bit of overview of what we get up to there and what kind of the space is. And then we'll go into our info session with information about the River Valley Ripple Artist Residency with a program overview. And then we'll go through the call for artists, application process, frequently asked questions, and then have a chance in the end for you all to ask any questions that you may have as well. With that, I'll pass it back to Ash for the organizational overview.
Awesome. Thanks, Luana. So Department of Public Transformation is a rural-based artist-led nonprofit, and we strive to develop creative strategies that strengthen connection, civic engagement, and equity in rural places. Like those of you here today, we believe rural communities have the solutions, skills, and ideas they need to address community challenges, but historic underinvestment, extractive economies, and narratives of deficit have fragmented many communities. So we strive to support those rural communities with creative solutions that integrate art and artists as vital contributors to economic, community, and civic life. And we do that through our 4 key strategies, which is to activate rural community assets, to connect rural municipalities with creative strategies, support rural arts and cultural workers with programs just like the River Valley Ripple, which we're here to talk about today, artist residencies, community of practice, coaching, mentorships, resources, and professional development, and to nurture the rural arts and culture field through networking, storytelling, and resource sharing. We are rooted in Southwest Minnesota at the Yes House, but our place-based programs reach across Minnesota, the upper Midwest, and currently we're expanding some programming into the Mountain West. We support creative gathering spaces, artist-led activations, and at-home residencies as we work nationally to tell the stories of and advocate for rural artists and rural creativity. And here are just a few examples of what that looks like in practice, in addition to the River Valley Ripple program we're here to talk about today. So we have a program called Beyond the Clock, which is our online gathering and podcast series that fosters fellowship for rural connectors and cultural workers, where we invite rural rock stars to share their stories and amplify them nationally through a partnership with Voices for Rural Resilience and the Rural Assembly. Our Activate Rural program offers funding, peer learning, and creative and technical assistance for rural artists and entrepreneurs, building creative gathering places, also called third places, in their small town, rural, and tribal communities, spaces not too dissimilar from the Yes House. And we also have the Ignite Rural at-home artist residencies, which are designed to support rural BIPOC and Native arts leaders. The Engage Rural program, which introduces creative strategies to municipal and cross-sector community leaders, and the soon-to-launch Amplify Rural initiative supporting rural storytellers and narrative-shifting infrastructure, while offering fiscal sponsorship to help new rural projects take root. So lots going on under the DoPT umbrella, but today we're going to focus on the Yes House and one of the offerings at the Yes House. I'll pass it back to Luina to talk about the River Valley Ripple Artist Residency Program.
Thank you, Ash. So the Yes House is a creative community gathering space located in downtown Granite Falls. So we host an array of programming that I'll talk a little bit more about here in a second. Next slide. So our building currently has, or will always have, three floors. So I'll start at the top. The third floor has two fully furnished apartments. So we have a studio apartment and then a larger artist apartment. And in the artist apartment is where the River Valley Ripple Artist in Residence will stay. And then there's also a shared space upstairs where it can be used as a workspace. It's got laundry, a couple of Murphy beds for some extra space for people to stay as well. So that's our top floor. And our main floor, we're going to move on to the next slide. Here's some photos to kind of show you what that looks like. The front space right off of down Main Street has a cafe style co-working space in the front. And we have like regular weekly open hours where folks can just come in, have coffee, work on their computers, or meet, kind of whatever they want to use the space for. The back area is a performance venue. So we have a stage in that back area. You can kind of see in the lower right picture where folks are on the stage there. And then further back is a rock climbing garage. And then in our basement, which I just didn't have, it's still a work in progress, our basement, will be a recording studio, kind of hangout, youth zone, media lab, and then a classroom space. So that's kind of all three floors there. All right, next slide. So at the Yes House, I work closely with what we call the Creative Collaboration Team, which is a group of volunteers who work closely with me to plan and co-host all of the programming that we do at the Yes House. So pictured here is kind of our first inaugural CCT from back in 2023 there. Next slide. Another group, kind of a more recent group that we developed is the Yes House Advisory Council. And this group is a group of volunteers and local leaders who advise on the operations of the space, focusing on transparency, accountability, and community connection. So they kind of see more of kind of bigger picture stewarding the space versus the CCT, the Creative Collaboration Team, where they focus more on programming specifically with events and stuff. Next slide. So at the Yes House, we host an array of different events. We have some regular monthly events, as well as just kind of whatever the community comes to me and is interested in hosting in the space, or artists that come and have an idea. So some of the more regular programming is our monthly Learn from Your Neighbor event, where we invite somebody from the community to share something that they're passionate about, or teach a class, or want to share a trip with folks. So that's a monthly event. We have also open mic nights with a local host that we do every month. Quarterly, we do a Campfire Chronicles event, which is a story sharing event where we have a topic and then folks kind of share stories. We also have a community created haunted house that we do annually that we're deep in right now, actually kind of getting done before Halloween. We also do, live music, theater, artist conversation. So all sorts of stuff, really. And then we strive to support both local and visiting artists. So we, in addition to this residency, we have an exchange residency where folks can come and stay at the Yes House and then host an event or a share out. And artists come and stay for multiple days. So they're really able to get to know the community and the community can get to know them. And there's usually some kind of community engagement component of a lot of our programming to really bring in and connect the community with the artists and hosts. So next slide. So that'll take me into the River Valley Ripple Artist Residency Program. So here are some fun photos of some artist salons and our first, the one in the upper left-hand corner, kind of the first inaugural group of RVR artists. If you hear me say RVR, that's kind of what I call River Valley Ripple for short as abbreviation. So next slide. So what is the River Valley Ripple Artist Residency? So it is a self-directed residency program designed for individuals who are ready to step further into their identity as an artist and who want the time and space to focus on their practice. So it's a pretty DIY artist residency where artists are really given the support, time, and funds to work on their craft however they would want to. So we are currently seeking 4 Southwest Minnesota artists, anywhere that they are in their career, artistic career, to spend 2 weeks at the Yes House in Granite Falls, Minnesota. Next slide. So it's a close to home residency. So people don't have to travel super far to do this residency. They're able to go back home, check on things if they need to. So kind of that component of it as well. So selected artists will receive, so as I mentioned, 2 weeks of dedicated space and time at the Yes House to work on their artistic practice, skill development, creative projects of their choice. They'll receive a $1,000 stipend for the duration of the residency. So that is a stipend, a living stipend. So it can be for groceries or kind of whatever you want. There's no, that can be spent on just living during that 2-week period. Up to $250 for supplies and materials. So this could be whatever you would need to further your craft or work on your craft. And that can be up to $250, and that is a reimbursement. And if there's ever any questions about what that could be used for, you feel free to, we can ask as we work together and stuff of what that is, but that can be pretty broad of what that can be used for. As well as a living space for the duration of the residency. So it's a 1-bedroom, fully furnished apartment at the Yes House in downtown Granite Falls. Next slide. And so we'll also receive a space for working on projects. So in that apartment, there is a office studio space within it, and then there's also a communal space upstairs that can also be used for studio space if there's more room that's needed. And it has a utility sink, and then there's also the opportunity to have access to other areas of the Yes House on the main floor. When that's not in use. Also receive a welcome to town meal at a local establishment and a downtown walking tour. So when you arrive, I'll take you out for a meal, as well as kind of show you around downtown. And we also offer introduction to connect you to other artists, community partners, and local residents if you like. So that's kind of always an option where if you want to connect with other community members or artists, I can kind of help make those connections for you during your residency. And then staff support from myself and Shai, my colleague, in promoting and hosting your one public artist salon. So as part of the residency, artists have to host one public artist salon, and that can be at the end of the residency, at the beginning. So that's kind of flexible there. And then promoting and documenting your work as well. Next slide. So a little bit more about where you'll be staying. So as I said, it's a private 1-bedroom, fully furnished apartment with a full bath. It's got towels, rags, all that kind of stuff. Full kitchen. The kitchen is stocked with most cooking utensils, coffee pot, tea kettle, toaster, things like that. And then the small office/studio space. It also includes linens, so sheets, bedding, towels, washcloths, all that kind of stuff. There's a queen size bed in the space, as well as a pull-out couch, and then all cookware, dishware, appliances, and then coffee pot and stuff like that. As I'd mentioned, the shared workspace in between the apartments can be used, and that has a utility sink, the 2 extra Murphy twin beds, a microwave, and then the washer and dryer that's available to you all as well, or to residents as well. And the main floor of the Yes House, that is where we'll host the artist salon, the public artist salon, and it can also be used as a workspace if more space is needed, and we can work that out upon request and when it's available. And then, of course, myself and Shire on site, so we offer staff support throughout your residency to answer any questions and check in on how things are going. And we kind of always discuss, ahead of time how hands-on or hands-off you like staff to be and what your best ways of communicating are, and things like that as we plan out your residency beforehand. Next slide. So a little bit about the public artist salon. So these are really for the artists to be able to share their work, to connect with the community, make connections that way. And it can really be a lot of different things. We've had artist meet and greets, conversations. It could be exhibitions, galleries to display works or works in progress, workshops, public readings. We've had film screens. We've had folks host open mic nights for it and have a lot of other artists come in to be a part of it as well. So we can really work together on what that looks like and what feels good for each artist to showcase their work and connect with people in the way that they'd like to. Next slide. So eligible artists. So eligible artists must reside within one of the 18 counties of Southwest Minnesota. I'm not going to go through them all, but they're all listed there. They must be over the age of 18 as well. Identify as either an emerging or established artist. So anywhere in that process, we are eligible and are interested in sharing their work and our creative process with the public. So although most of the residency is, you working on your craft and however you see fit at the Yes House, there is kind of that public component with the artist salon to where you can connect with the public and showcase your work. So that desire for sharing their work as well. Okay, next slide. All right, selection criteria. So the River Valley Ripple Selection Committee will include DoPT staff, so myself, as well as few members from the creative collaboration team that I had mentioned, those volunteers that helped me plan programming a little earlier in the info session. So we kind of make up the selection committee, and we will be the ones reviewing the applications based on the following criteria. So we'll be looking at artistic growth. Applicant clearly articulates personal artistic goals and or shows potential for growth through participation in the residency. We'll be looking at readiness. So applicant demonstrates why this residency is the right fit for their artistic growth at this stage in their life, career, and or work. So really honing in on why this is a good time to be doing this residency for the artist, as well as capacity. So if the applicant demonstrates the availability and commitment to fully participate in the residency. So we really want this time for the person who, or the residents who are the 4 artists that take part in the residency to really take the time in that 2 weeks to really hone in on their craft and have that capacity to do so, to be able to step away from everyday life and really focus on their work to get the most out of the experience. So now let's look at the timeline. So the residency timeline, October 10th, we opened the call for artists, and that goes till November 10th. And then today we're having the virtual information session right now on October 28th. And then, as I mentioned, November 10th, applications are due. And then mid to late November will be the artist selection process and applicant notification. So the committee will be getting together, reviewing the applications, and then artists will be notified during that time period. And then in December, public announcement of selected artists and residency preparations with artists. So during that time, I'll be connecting with each artist and doing a call or meeting in person and planning out their residency. And then from February to May of 2026 will be when the 2-week residencies take place, the 2-week residencies. And then in June and July of 2026, we'll do some program feedback surveys and things like that. And then we'll also host a River Valley Ripple artist gathering where all 4 artists will get together to have a social time and connect and kind of talk about their experience together, which is always really fun. Next slide, please. So how to apply? So to apply, we have a simple online application. To access the application, please visit our website, theyeshouse.org/River Valley Ripple there. And then there'll be an apply here button. We will, at the end of this presentation, show you on our website what that looks like. So please stay tuned and we'll kind of show you there exactly where that is. But if you would prefer, you are also welcome to submit a video application instead of filling out the application form. And to do that, just please send me an email. And that'll be on our last slide here, my email, as well as I believe Sarah put it in the chat. And then just a reminder that our application due date is November 10th at 11:59 p.m. And late applications will not be reviewed. So make sure to get those applications in on time, please. All right, next slide. All right. So then on our website, we do have a frequently asked questions section. So please give those a once over to see if your questions aren't answered there. And of course, if not, I have my email on there as well. You can send me, ask me any questions you may have. Please email me. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. Next slide. And then big thank you, of course, to our funders. This River Valley Ripple Artist Residency is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Southwest Minnesota Arts Council, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. So thank you, huge thank you to our funders. And that wraps up our info session. So thank you so much. We will now share the website to kind of show you where the application is and kind of go through that a little bit. So I'll pass it on to Ash for that before we get into questions.
Great, great, great. This will be really quickly. I'm just going to show you our website here and talk you through. So once you get to the Yes House homepage, if you scroll down to River Valley Ripple, click on River Valley Ripple, then you'll see the artist residency program details, a lot of what we talked about today in case you need a revisit. What does this entail again? And as you come down here, I'll come back to this apply here button in a moment. I'm just going to scroll down to show you the FAQ. So again, if you have questions that don't get answered today and you're interested in seeing if we already have those questions identified here, you can look down on a big long list. And as questions come in, for the RVR program, we add them to the website as well. So your thoughtful questions will help other people decide or know the answers to their questions. So when you are ready to apply, you just click this apply here button, and there's a really simple form that pops up. I would recommend reviewing this form and filling out this form on a separate document, perhaps a Word document or a Google document first. Give yourself a chance to check out the questions, the application questions, give some time and thought to it before entering right into the portal here, since there isn't a way to save it and come back to it. So just check out this form, have yourself a document to fill it out, and then come in and enter those questions and responses back into this form. And then as you're done scrolling down to the bottom here, you can submit the form. We make work samples optional because we understand that some folks are emerging artists and may not have, work samples available, and that's okay. So don't feel like you have to have any work samples. Otherwise, if you have some artwork that you just want to take a few photos with your phone and upload them so you can get a kind of vibe for what your artistic practice is looking like, you're welcome to do that too, but it is not necessary. And as Luana mentioned, if you would rather do this as a interview, a video that you send for the selection criteria, the selection committee rather, to review, then it'll be a similar set of questions that you'll just answer in a video format. If you have any other accessibility needs or want to talk through anything specifically related to the application, again, just reach out to Luana and we will help get you all set up. And with that, we're going to move over into Q&A, see if we currently don't have any open questions. I am looking at the chat. No webinar question, no chat questions here. So we'll just give it a few minutes. If anybody has any questions, feel free to use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom screen, or you can just write the question right in the chat. We'll pause for a moment while you get those together. Give it one more minute, and if there are no questions, we will be wrapping up this recording, and know that you can revisit the recording at any time. Oh, we did get a question come in. Janelle came in. Typical number of applications in a given year. We actually just looked this up, and we are between 8 to 12 applications in a given year, and 4 are selected. But I will say that the program is getting more popular. So this is our 3rd year, and we are expecting to get that or more applications. Another one in the Q&A. If my project is sculpting and it will be messy, will that be okay? Luana?
Yes, we've actually had a sculptor before. So yeah, we can definitely set up a workspace, and put down plastic and kind of work around that. So yes, absolutely. We have plenty of space.
Yeah, and especially now that our basement is close to finished, we have a whole workshop space in the basement as well. So
that's true. Yeah, that classroom would be a great space for
classroom space would be a great space for getting a little dirty. Awesome. Give it one more minute. Luana, is there anything else that you want to share that wasn't covered today that came up for you?
Oh, it looks like we have another question in the chat.
Oh, yes, great.
Both
performance art and visual art.
Yes. We've actually had at some artist salons, artists do, the one who did like an open mic also did a visual area. We've had film and visual and a few different things going on. So it's kind of whatever you want to share. I work closely with you to kind of make that happen. And as far as what you work on in your craft, during the 2 weeks, that's really up to you. And there's no pressure to like have an end product or have to have something finished. It can be a work in progress. It's more of time for you to kind of have that space away from everyday life to even figure out what you want to work on or choose a project that you want to gear towards more. So it's really very flexible. And then yeah, as far as the artist salon showcasing that, we've had multiple different types of art and stuff happening at once. So
We love our multimedia, mixed media artists.
yes. I think there's one more question.
News, can it be one new sculpture and show other sculptures I've made in the past? So can it be a mix of new works and existing
Yes.
work?
Yes, great questions. Yes, absolutely. So we've had folks bring in their work and then add to it, like in a gallery show, or actually there was when the one sculpture brought her existing work as well as what she was working on, her in progress work. So yes, definitely.
We've also had RVR artists leave their shows up for a couple of weeks too after the salon. So if it is an install and we don't have another exhibition coming up, that there's usually space and time to, keep the show up for a week or so in case you want to, invite more people to come and see it. That's been a cool addition to the program.
Any other questions?
Yay, we're excited too. We love this program. So excited to see who our next cohort is. And yeah, thank you all for attending the River Valley Ripple Artist Residency info session. Again, this recording will be up on the website. Applications are open until midnight on November 10th. So please get those in midnight Central Time on November 10th. And we look forward to reading your applications and hopefully hosting you at the S House.
Yeah, thank you. And I just wanted to say one, again, if you have any questions or concerns or just curiosities that are making you feel hesitant or for applying or whatever, like please email me. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. So don't always feel like you can reach out. Yeah, so really excited for this year's group and to see all the great applications. So yeah, thank you. And well, I'm there.
Great. Thanks. Bye, everybody.